Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Data Science Jellyfish. So, today is going to be our second lesson in our Tableau series, and it's going to be all about bar charts. So, we're going to make this as quick as possible so that you know how to create the different types of bar charts in Tableau. Now, in the first lesson, I showed you how to sign up for an online.tableau account using a free trial and also how you're able to download Tableau Desktop with a free trial as well. So if you need the software, please look at lesson 1. But assuming that everyone has went through lesson 1, we're now going to work on our visuals. So I'm actually going to utilize Tableau Desktop. So you can either utilize the online interface or the downloaded desktop version, whatever floats your boat so that you can follow along. Okay, so let's open up Tableau. And let me get this out the way. So great. So now we are going to use the sample Superstore data that everyone has access to. I showed you how to click on this as a data source in lesson 1. But once you open up a new version of Tableau, and let's just go ahead and do that so you can see. So if I open up Tableau on my computer, and I'm on a Mac, so let me scroll over. And I open up a new Tableau session, you should be able to connect to that data. So it's going to pop up over here, Sample Superstore. And once you double click on Sample Superstore, it will take you to this whole data view. Okay. So that is the data that we're going to utilize. So let's start first with just making a simple single bar chart. Using the sample Superstore data, we have these 3 tables. Today, we're just going to work with the orders table. Okay. And dimensions are denoted in blue. So normally those are our categorical variables or variables that we wouldn't necessarily do math with. So I wouldn't want to try to do math, for instance, on a product name or on a customer name or on a location. Okay. Maybe a little bit on the date if I want to subtract some dates. So dates are a little bit different here. But most of the time, dimensions are in blue, and those are our categorical variables. Measures are normally in green in Tableau, and those are our numeric variables that we can do math on it. So the average, the min, the max, things of that nature. So for a single bar chart, say for instance, I want to look at the profit by, let's say, region. So I'm going to expand this location dimension, and I'm going to bring region to the column. And here we see that I have all of my different regions, my 4 regions, in the sum of their profit. Now, if your bar chart is looking like this in standard view, you definitely can go up here where it says standard and do fit with. There are some bells and whistles that we can add to this bar chart. So you can add labels to show the marked labels at the top of the bar. You can change the colors if you would like to. You can mess around with how skinny or how thick the bars are, etc., etc. You can change the color. When you hover over the bars, you can also change the tooltip and what pops up when you hover, okay? But just for simplicity purposes, this single bar chart that we have here, if you have one dimension denoted by blue and one measure, you should be able to do just a basic interactive single bar chart in Tableau. Great, so let's go to our next bar chart, which is our side-by-side bar chart. And here we're going to pretty much do the same thing. Instead, this time we're going to have 2 dimensions, which is in blue, or 2 categories, and we're going to have 1 measure, our numeric continuous measure. So here we're going to put region in the columns and say, for instance, I want to look at that by product category. I then am going to put profit again on the rows. And I see here that I have a side-by-side bar chart, right? Where the top is going to break it out by region or category, and the bottom is going to tell me if it's furniture, office supplies, technology, etc. So I'm going to make this fit the width. And say, for instance, I want to color this by the actual category. So I want all the furnitures to be the same color, all of the office supplies and all of the technology. I'm just going to go back over here to my left hand pane, and right where it says category, I'm going to drag that to color. Okay. And then I definitely can change the colors here. When you hit edit colors, I can change furniture if I want it to green. I can change technology to yellow, whatever I want. And here is a nice visualization for that. Now, we can also color this differently if there's a negative profit associated by making a calculated field, and that's going to come in one of our next videos. But this is a nice side-by-side bar chart that you also can add the nice marked labels to it as well, and everything else that we have for the single bar chart. The only difference here is that we're using 2 dimensions and 1 measure. Great. So let's look at a stacked bar chart with 1 axis. So if I want to stack up my bar chart, so let's still look at region. And then let's get our profit into rows. And then if I go over to show me, I can click stacked, and it's going to have a different color for every region, right? That we can look at. So if you wanted to just look at, okay, what region has the overall profit by how thick or how tall the bar is, you definitely can do. You can also add labels here, show marked labels, okay? And then you also can add in the tooltip. So when you hover over it, you have the different regions, right? And then you can see the legend over here if you collapse show me. So that's just a simple 1 bar stacked bar chart with 1 axis by region. So let's look at a dual axis stacked bar chart. So say for instance, once again, we've been looking at the region. We wanted to look at region, and we wanted to look at profit. And then I'm also want to look at sales. So I'm going to drag sales over where I have this dashed line, and I see that sales comes on the other axes, okay? So if I right click this, or if you're on a Mac and you don't have a mouse, control click, I can hit Synchronize Axis. Okay. And then over here, it tells me the marks that I want to choose. So say for instance, for profit, and I'm just going to switch these two. Okay. For profit, I want it to be, let's say, a bar chart. And then for sales, I want to keep it as circles, or I want to make it a square, whatever the case may be. So now I can see in central what the profit is, and I can also see the corresponding sales at the top. So this is very intuitive if we want to change these to a line chart, or one of these to a line chart, right? And normally that happens by using a date dimension, because I don't want to connect these squares together because they don't really have a relationship since there's all distinct regions. So let me drag region off, and let's do something like order date, and just look at the years. And now when I see sales, instead of being a square, I could do a line, right? And on this line, I can do so much stuff with this line, okay? I can go to color and hit markers to add like the little markers there, etc. I can also edit the colors. So say for instance, I want to show labels on my line chart, click down sum of profit. I want to show mark labels on that as well. Now I can see, I can right click on order date and hide that label. And I have an axis over here for sales, which is going to be the orange line. And then I have an axis over here for profit, which is going to be my bar chart. And it's going to look at it by year, okay? Because I have year. I can hit the plus sign and also look at it by quarter if I would like. And it would have my quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So very intuitive to have this dual axis chart when you're looking at measures across time. I find that very beneficial if you want to compare two measures. So that is how we do our single bar chart our side by side bar chart, a one axis stack bar chart, and then a dual axis chart. Okay. So thank you for tuning in to Data Science Jellyfish. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next video, which we're going to take a deeper dive into another visualization. Thank you. Have a great day.